Oh, good evening, it's Sean from Sean's Auto Repairs in Ramsgate again. This evening we have a Volkswagen Golf for 2005, I believe it is, 2006. It's got a bit of an intermittent gearbox fault. When you're driving along, it will tend to be a bit joggy on takeoff, or it will sometimes lose drive when you're pulling away. And what we're suspecting is low gearbox oil level. So we're going to do a DSG gearbox, direct shift gearbox. So we're going to do an oil change with a new oil filter and see whether that cures the problem. That's the typical gear shift with your park, reverse, neutral and drive, and then as you go across you've got your plus and your minus for your manual control. So we're going to go onto the bonnet and we'll see what's what. Right, let's start off with what we're going to use. For a dry refill or dry fill, these boxes take about 7 litres, but just from draining it out you're looking at about 4.5 to 5 litres. So we've got this direct from Volkswagen DSG transmission fluid, double clutch transmission fluid, and we've got 5 litres of that. One new filter for the gearbox, part number 028305 051C, and we've got a new sealing ring for the cap. Alright, let's go onto the bonnet and see what's going on under there. Right, so here we are under the bonnet. I've already taken out the battery cover, the air box, the air induction tubing, top of the air filter box with the airflow meter on. That all sits in that area there. What we've got to do now is take out the battery and the battery tray, and if you can see down there, I'll zoom you in, that's the cap for the oil for the gearbox, just like your traditional engine oil cap. So we've got to take that out before we go underneath and drain the oil out. We've got the battery out. The battery was just held down with one 13mm bolt down there and that clamp there. Now we've got to take the battery tray out, which is held in by one, I think it's about 12mm bolt there. We've got one 12mm bolt there, and then the whole tray should come out. Alright, so with the battery tray out of the way, and they were in actual fact 10mm, we've now got good access to the filter cover, and with the aid of a 24mm socket and an extension, we can now undo that, undo the cover, take the housing off, take out our filter, let's find somewhere to put that so it doesn't make too much of a mess. Well, we'll take that, let the worst of that dribble off there. So we know it's got a dimple on that side, or a little set piece on that side, and it's flat on there. We'll stick that in the drain bucket down there. Right, so now we can go underneath, take the underpan off, and take the drain plug out. Right, as you can see, we're now under the vehicle. I've got it up on a couple of jacks. I'm going to put some stands under it in a moment. This is the engine shield that we've got to take down, and as you will notice, it is quite wet along the back there, spreading down under the bottom of the vehicle. So we have got a bit of a leak there somewhere. So this cover's held on by probably about a dozen or so little Torx headed bolts. So we get them out and get this tray off. Now then, we've got the under tray off. We can see we've got a bit of oil on the bottom of the gearbox and the bottom of the engine. I can't really see where it's coming from. It looks to be more like engine oil. It feels like engine oil. It looks like engine oil more than gearbox oil. It's quite thin though. But we'll have to bear that in mind, I think, for a minute. Well, what we've got to do, we've got this 14mm hex key, and that fits into the sump plug there. We need to get that out, and then inside that there's I think it's 8mm. There's an 8mm cone inside there we have to take out to drain all the oil out. So let's get a clean container so we can see how much oil comes out of it, and we'll get on with that. Right, I've loosened the bung off with the 8mm socket, 8mm Allen key, so it's only finger tight. And when you take this out, you're only going to get a dribble of oil out because the main plug is inside. So we'll just take that out carefully. We've got a nice clean bucket down there. Just take this out. You'll get a little bit of oil come out of this, but not a great deal, I don't think. There we go, you just get a little dribble. We'll put that down now. And then up inside there, I don't know if we can see without getting the phone all crappy. But you've got an 8mm, is like a black plastic funnel inside that has to come out. So let's go for that one. Right, so yes, this is an 8mm, and you don't need to use a ratchet or anything on this because this is just vaguely finger tight. It just sits in up there. We'll take that out. That's all your oil. Let that drain. And this tube is your fill level, because the tube is, I don't know whether you can see down there, the tube is hollow, so when you fill the gearbox up, the oil level will only go up as far as the top of this tube, and anything over the top of the tube will overflow down the middle. Which is why ideally when you refill it with the genuine VW tool, the filling fluid goes in from the bottom and it pumps up through this. But if we can't find anything to fit this, we'll fill it from the top. But we'll give that a few minutes to drain, and then we'll put this back again. Right, I've put my little black funnel back in there, back inside. That screws up inside, which is just finger tight, or hand tight. And to fill it, I've made up this adapter which goes into the bung hole instead of that, with a tube on it which goes up to a filling bottle, and we're going to start filling up the oil from there. And while that's filling up, we're going to put the filter back in while the oil's draining down through there. Now hopefully when we pour this in, it doesn't leak out too much anywhere. apart from there obviously. Alright, just hold it up a sec. Right, so I don't know whether you can see. You can see the bubbles in that pipe going through. But oil is nicely draining from the jug. Down into the gearbox. So what we do is we'll put 5 litres back into there, then we'll put the oil and filter back in, the oil filter back on, and then we'll start it up and see what run it through some gears. Right, so while that's filling up from there, what we'll do is we'll pop that back in there. That pops over that centre spigot, and then we've got the cap, we've got the new O-ring on there, all nicely greased up, or oiled up I should say. Let's put that onto there, and we screw that down. And then what I'll do is off camera, I will just get my 24mm socket, I think it was 24mm, and I'll just snug that down. Alright, now that's all snugged down, what we'll do, we'll give that a wipe with a rag, just to get a bit of a clean off. Clear any spillage that we've got down there. And now we can put the battery tray and the air filter box back into place. Right, so if everything at the top back together, the battery's in, battery covers on, air filter box is in, airflow meter's all plugged back on. Down below, all the fluid is drained into there. Let's have a look, let's get the light so we can see. See the levels down to there in the pipe. No leaks anywhere. Nicely full, that's all 5 litres. So what we're going to do now, we're going to start it up and run it through the gears and let it warm up for a bit. What have we got on the clock? 107,782. Alright. Right, now keeping your foot on the brake, you go through all the gears, leaving in each gear a few seconds. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. Right, we're going to let it warm up a bit and then we'll do the final drain. Now, the final level check you need to do with the engine running. So I hope you can hear me over this. But what we need to do now is to take off this pipe and drain off the excess fluid. So we'll let it drain until the level starts to break up, or the flow starts to break up, then we know it's at the right level. And there we go, it's starting to break up now. And then we can put our cap back in. And then that cap goes up to 33 foot-pounds, and that concludes our gearbox refill. And all we have to do, let's just put that back in there for a second. Alright, so we've done that. So what we have to do now is just tighten that up to 33 foot-pounds, put the under tray back on, let it down, and then that job's complete. We take it for a run and make sure all the gears are smooth and it's all tip top. Thank you very much. Right, so we've got back from the test drive. Everything's running smoothly, all the gears are changing nicely. So that's a job well done. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this helps. Bye bye.